All right, guys, what's going on? I'm super excited for this video for the simple purpose that it has the potential to change the trajectory of your agency, especially as we're going to be transitioning into the new year. But before we get into it, I want to preface two things. The first thing, this video is going to be a longer video. It's probably going to be around 20-30 minutes long if I go into the nitty gritty details. So get a pen, get a paper, because a lot of the things that I'm going to be telling you, you're probably going to have to pause, write down, and then implement at a later time. And the second thing I want to preface is the fact that I need you guys to stop this video, go hit the subscribe button, because I'm pumping out literally 2 videos a week and I need your guys' support in order to keep doing that. So I'm going to wait 2 seconds for you guys to go and do that.
2 seconds later.
Anyways, if you did that, thank you very much. If you didn't, do better, man, do better. But anyway, I don't want to be one of those guys that's going to be talking about, an outlandish claim like this if I haven't done it myself. So I've ran ads in the past, last week, last month, yesterday, today, currently. Like, I'm always running ads and I'm always collecting data. And I thought to myself, how can I benefit this lead gen community using the data that I spent my own money on in order to figure out and find out? And essentially what I realized was I was able to get warm leads for literally 40 cents. Guys like Montel Gordon, if you don't know who that is, I'll pop him up on the screen right now. He has been able to basically break down the ideology that we don't need to keep doing cold outreach. We can implement a system like this, which I'm going to be running through, and you guys can get warm leads for literally less than $1. And it doesn't even have to cost you that much. And I'll be showing you guys exactly why. So for example, if you look at this video campaign that I did, it was 4 different ad sets targeting 4 different interests. And those 4 ads performed at a CPC of less than 30 cents, meaning when you guys see these link clicks here, that is referring to the amount of warm leads that came to my profile and interacted with my brand. So as you guys can see, it costed me 20 cents, 20 cents, 21 cents, 31 cents. Obviously, I said less than 30, but you guys get the point here. Let's not be specific about that. But anyway, we look at a different sort of campaign. It was a carousel ad, so it was a series of different images. I think it was 9 images in this ad, 38 link clicks. It costed me £5. £5 for 38 warm leads, and I only ran it for 3 days. That's insane. We look at another campaign, an IG video ad, 19 cents was the CPC. The cost per click was 19 cents, meaning I was getting warm leads for literally 19 cents. How is it that you guys still think that cold outreach is the way to go when you're able to literally spend $1 and generate 5 warm leads, guys? So what does this mean and how is it possible? A lot of you guys probably watching this video right now is probably scratching your head thinking, okay, I'm sending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of DMs, emails, doing cold calls a day when there is a strategy out there that's able to get you warm leads for 19 cents, 40 cents, 30 cents. And you're probably thinking, well, it's only a warm lead. But you only need a certain amount of warm leads before you can convert them into a hot lead or a close. And if you guys are charging anywhere from 1.5K to 5K to 10K to 15K, the ROI is ridiculous. But anyway, what does that mean and how is it possible? So let's crunch the numbers. So I reached over 4.7 thousand individuals with my ads combined, not including the others, only those 3. I generated over 120 warm leads from those 3 ads, and I spent less than $100. On one of the ads, I spent $5. And that in itself is absolutely ridiculous. On average, it costed me 26 cents to get a warm lead to visit my profile between those 3 ads. I spent 0 hours cold calling, 0 hours cold DMing, and 0 hours cold emailing. 3 signed up for the free training, which is a high ticket product, and it's an hour-and-a-half free training. And I got ample new followers and profile interactions, which means that they're a hot lead. A warm lead goes to the profile, a hot lead takes action, and then essentially you want to DM anyone that takes action with your profile. And I did absolutely nothing in order for this to occur. I literally sat back and just watched everything take off. But you guys need to realize 2 important things here. You need to have an optimized personal brand. And if you want me to create a video on that, comment personal brand down below, because this process isn't a process that you just implement. There's components, there's mechanisms, there's frameworks that go into this working effectively and efficiently. And you guys need to understand the power of advertising. We're going to run through some numbers, some real numbers, and you guys are going to actually see why you need to be advertising over doing cold outreach. But I suggest you do both hand in hand, to be honest. You want to do some outbound and some inbound. But anyway, that's a whole nother video, a whole nother conversation. But these 2 things simply go hand in hand. So it's question time. How many hours have you guys spent sending cold outreach every single week? And I want to use Montel Gordon as an example. If you guys don't know who that is, I'm going to pop him up right now on the screen. And he's a guy that's been literally documenting his space or his journey, his progress, his ups, his downs since the start of his agency. He's a guy that I really, really respect for the simple reason of he understood the importance of transparency, right? When running an agency, he talked about the different avenues he went down, the different ways he made money, what he suggests, and he never talked or spoke from a place of ignorance. It was always from his personal experience. And I think that's quite insightful. So if you guys don't know who that is, go check out his videos, go check out his IG. He's crushing it right now. All right, so I'm going to be talking about a lot of numbers right now, and I want you guys to just try and comprehend, try and follow what it is that I'm going to be speaking about. But anyway, let's jump into it right now, guys. So Montel Gordon, on his IG story, he spoke about his basically his experience with cold outreach and why you guys need to take a leaf out of his book and understand doing only cold outreach is just not effective enough. You guys are spending money on softwares, VAs. If you implemented that same amount of money that you're spending elsewhere into advertising, the whole game would change for you. So essentially, he said it took him 1,600 emails to land a 1,500 a month client. And essentially, if you wanted to scale to that 10K a month mark, he would need 7 clients to hit the golden $10,000 a month mark, meaning he would need to send 11,200 emails to close 7 clients, since it took him 1,600 to land one. So if you continue this breakdown, right, 11,200 over the course of 3 months meant that he was going to be sending 3,733 emails every single month, which is 187 emails a day, not including Saturday and Sunday. That's if he wanted to hit the 10K a month mark within the 3-month period, as you guys can see. Hopefully you guys are following so far. Let's continue. So that means he was doing around 10 handwritten personalized emails. And he said that it took him about an hour to do it if he wanted to do it effectively and efficiently, which is 18.7 hours of work a day. But obviously he's not an idiot. He realized no one can work 18.7 hours a day. So what did he do? He said it wasn't sustainable. So he hired some VAs to help reduce the labor and demand time. So he paid them $5 an hour, which is $93 a day. That equals to $465 a week, which equals to $1,860 a month just in labor costs. You're probably thinking, oh, he's an idiot for that, but let's continue. So the cost breakdown was VAs. It was $93 a day. 93 times 20, because he's not working on weekends, was $1,860 a month. A decent lead list costed him about $100 a month. The Never Bounce software cost him about $23 a month. 7 domains so he can blast out that many emails costed him around $42 a month. And then instantly.io costed him $97 a month. So the total cost of operations was $2,122. And I want to stop here and just speak about one concept right now, guys. Just because you're not spending $2,122 a month doesn't mean you're still not paying for it with your time. If you guys haven't got the money to buy all these different softwares and cost breakdowns and all these different things, just know it's your time that is being spent doing that. So yes, you're not financially paying that amount, but time-wise, it's costing you a fortune. So let's continue. All right, so when working out the cost per client, the math is very, very simple. We do 2,122 times 3 months, because that is the cost of operations, and he wants to get to the 10K month in 3 months, so it's times 3, equals 6,366 divided by 7, since it would take 7 clients to get to the 10K a month mark. That means his cost per client is $909. Plus, if you're charging $1,500, your profit on month 1 is $591, or so you thought, because if you decide to outsource the work, a media buyer probably costs around $500, so you're left with $91 in profit. That is why cold outreach is not sustainable. And like I said, you might not be spending this amount of money, but you're spending that amount of money in your time. So even if it's, let's say, $500 or $300 or $200, and you sign a client and you have ridiculous profit margins, just know your time is being spent doing this. So it's still impossible for you to scale. It doesn't matter if it's financial. You guys need to understand that cold outreach as a standalone client acquisition method is simply not enough. So a lot of you guys probably end up looking like this when you realize, okay, I've just grinded and slaved away to literally sign a client that doesn't really make sense, because after spending 6 weeks to sign a client and you spent hours and hours and hours on end, you realize that you're only taking home $1,000, $500, $40, $200. It doesn't matter, because your time is spent invested into that client. But ultimately, guys, the question is, does that even make sense to you? So essentially what he did was spend $2,122 to cold email 3,734 businesses. But then when you factor in the 60% open rate, if he achieved that, He was essentially spending $2,122 to only have 2,613 people open his emails, meaning the CPM, the cost per 1,000 impressions, was $812. That's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. And the reason why it is because mine is $7, 117 times cheaper. Don't believe me? Cost per 1,000 impressions, $7.09 in between four different ads. Four different ads, and the average was £7. £7, guys. So now imagine what would happen if you put $2,122 into an ad. Bearing in mind, it's costing me £7 to get 1,000 impressions. Let me do the maths. 303,142 people would have seen this beautiful face on their phone screen. Does that even make sense, guys? How long would it take you to reach out to this many business owners? How long? And I'm not saying all these guys are warm leads, but what I'm saying is the conversion rate of reaching out to 303,000 people, turning into warm leads and eventually hot leads, that number would simply be life-changing, guys. And like I said, guys, I know not everyone's CPA, the cost per acquisition, the cost to acquire a client essentially will not be this high, but the premise remains the same. You have to send hundreds, if not thousands of cold emails or DMs to get minimal positive results. Hours each day spent sourcing leads, optimizing campaigns, and sending follow-ups. Even if you have a software or you have a VA to do it, it's still costing time. And everyone you reach out to is not guaranteed to see the message. At least with an ad, it only counts the impression if they've literally seen the ad on their screen. Would you rather run a couple ads, get a $7 CPM, or spend hundreds of hours a month wasting your time sending cold outreach? So you guys need to expand your thinking when it comes to client acquisition. Ask yourself a couple questions, guys. Who told you to do cold outreach? And are they actively doing it themselves? The answer is probably no. Then the question you need to ask yourself is why? The answer is very simple: leverage. These gurus, right, that told you to do cold outreach, they understand that time, energy, and decision making is much more important than spending hours sending out emails, especially if it means spending $100 could yield better results than 2 weeks of cold outreach. You guys get the point. So how do you transition from the rat cycle of continuous cold outreach to having a CPM that means every $7 you spend, 1,000 new potential customers are introduced to you? Every lead that comes in is only costing you less than 40 cents. So let's walk through the process. I walk through the actual fundamental understanding of why you guys need to transition from cold outreach and go into the paid ad space, but also still do cold outreach on the side. And now I'm going to show you the strategy behind actually achieving the 40-cent leads, or the 40-cent warm leads, if you guys will. And I know a lot of you guys have probably been waiting for that. So let's jump straight into it now.